Hello everyone, my name is Shafi. Today we'll continue from the SIP call flow. In the last class, we have discussed overview of SIP call flow, its architecture, the what different servers we have. Today we are going to be discuss about the call flow. Then we'll continue about the other things here. Okay, we have three types of call flow: early offer, delay offer, and early media here. So, but in this diagram, if you can see, we have only early offer, not on a delay offer here, this one. It's very simple. For an example, see there is a phone which is connected on the gateway. This gateway to another gateway, we have the IP connection, and other end, we have the another phone. Consider this is the calling party, that means source, and this is the destination called party. So when I'm calling, I'm taking the cradle out and dialing the number, everything it's connecting here and getting the dial tone and dialing the number, carrying the dial digital here. That's complete process we call initiate the call. Okay. So what happened now between this router to this router, we have the SIP protocol we have implemented, means any end 2 point. But as per this diagram, we have the gateway. It can be CUCM gateway, it can be gateway provider, it can be anything that one. Okay, when we have this one, so I'm calling from here. First, it will be sending the invite message. So now don't look at this SDP. We'll discuss later this SDP part here, not now. Okay. It will be sending the invite message. Once it sends the invite message, for this invite, it will give the acknowledgement that 100 trying here. Then this gateway, it will be sending the ringing signal to this phone here. Okay. If this phone is ringing, again, it will be updating that 180 ringing here. Then the phone is, user is answering the call here. Okay. When the user is answering the call, now it sends the 200. Okay. When it sends the 200, okay, then finally it gives the acknowledgement here, this one. Okay. After that one, RTP will be flow. RTP is the two-way. You are already aware. One RTP, two RTP, and RTCP. This is how we get two protocol, RTP and RTCP here. RTP protocol, it's a one way. It is used to carry your voice information. RTCP, real-time transport control protocol, which provides the status of your connection, like how many packets sending, receiving, getting dropped, and everything. Then after, suppose if I am disconnecting the call, again the calling party, it's sending the bye message. Okay, then it will give 200. Okay, here this one, disconnecting the call. This is the call flow of SIP protocol, and very simple here, this one. But in this protocol, what happened? There is a one more sub protocol we have called SDP protocol, session description protocol. So, and this is the call flow of delay offer. It's a delay offer here, this one. If you remember, whenever you are making a call from one phone to another phone, okay, so what happened? Media has to be negotiated. It can be any protocol, any setup, whatever it may be, media has to be negotiated. So what it will be negotiating in the media, what codec you are using, what codec I am using, this one. So media has to be negotiated. Example, media, timers, all this information comes into in the next slide, we can see the SDP information. Okay, media has to be negotiated. To negotiate that media, we use the SDP protocol. Sorry, guys. Okay, now generally, when we get the SDP in the delay offer, okay, see invite, 100 trying, 180 ringing. When it gives the 200 okay, right? In this 200 okay, it gives the SDP information. Okay, who? The called party will be providing the SDP information. Then when the source is acknowledging, in the acknowledgement, it will be exchanging the SDP information. In the 200 okay, it send the SDP. In the acknowledgement, again, it will be replied to that SDP messages here, this one. So SDP media is negotiating under 200 okay and acknowledgement. This is the delay offer. Okay. Now in the early offer, what happened? When it is sending the invite, at the same time, it's also sending the SDP information. Can you see this one? Okay. When it is give the 200 okay, whatever the SDP I have received, it's going to reply to that SDP on the 200 okay. That is the early offer. Okay. So even you take the H.323 protocol, we have a slow start, fast start. What is the difference between slow start, fast start? Media, where exactly it's negotiating. Okay, when it send the setup message, in the same setup message also it's going to be send the media negotiation. So here also the same thing here. So in the delay offer, media negotiate happen later. okay. I mean, in the different messages, in the 200 okay and acknowledgement. But in the early offer, when it sent the invite message, along with the invite message, it also sent the SDP information, media information. Now the destination will be reply on the 200 okay. That is the early offer call flow we have. And early media, you are already aware. Early media means what? Where we generally we use on the IVR system. Whenever we have the IVR system, in that scenario, we use the early media. So here you can see there is another diagram. Suppose if you have a proxy server here in between, see invite is sending here. Then from the proxy to the destination, it's sending the another invite message. Why? Because the proxy server, what happened? It takes all the information and it will be generating a new call leg on behalf of the source information here. So that's what two call flows we have this one. Invite, invite, 100 trying, trying, 180 ringing, ringing, 200 okay, okay, acknowledgement, acknowledgement. RTP will flow not via proxy, directly from here to here, this one. By, 200 okay, 200 okay. So that's what very simple call flow we have. Invite, 100 trying, 180 ringing, 200 okay, acknowledgement, RTP, by 200 okay. But the call flows are very simple. Only you had to remember that one. Okay. In 200 okay. Got it. So that's why we have the early offer and delay offer. In the next slide, we can see all the three call flows once again. Early offer, delay offer here. See, it's very simple. Invite, 100 trying, 180 ringing. Okay. See, 200 okay SDP we have, right? And acknowledgement SDP we have. Means this is in the delay offer. In the delay offer, what happened? SDP information, it will be exchanging in the 200 okay and acknowledgement. Means first SDP information will be provided from the called party. Then calling party, when it is acknowledging, in that one, it's replying to the SDP information. But when it's coming to the early offer, in the invite, SDP it's sending, but getting reply to this SDP on the 200 okay. 100 rate, 100 trying, 180 ringing, 200 okay, SDP. Then after that one, acknowledgement is coming here, this one. Okay, that is the early offer. Early media, we have this one. So early media, what happened for this? Okay, we call it prac. We call it what? Prac here, this one. See, it's sending an invite message with SDP. Next, we are getting 100 trying. Now, instead of this one, you just compare here. Instead of 180 ringing, now I'm getting 183 session in progress. Means instead of 180, it used the 183 session in progress, and whatever the SDP you have sent on the invite, it's going to reply to that SDP messages on the 183 only. Actually, it has to reply where? In the 200 okay, but it's replying on the 183 only. After that, prac messages are coming. Okay, prac messages actually here, so not prac, RTP is flowing. RTP, prac, then 200 okay prac I am getting here, this one. What is this prac message? Means pre-acknowledgement. Pre-acknowledgement. If you look at here, the call flow, see, invite is sending here, right, from the source. Can you see here this one? Invite is sending from where? Source. That is the first message, invite. Which one? Invite is the first message here. After that, this gateway is not sending any messages. See, I'm receiving 100 trying, 180 ringing, 200 okay. All I'm receiving, I'm not sending anything. I'm sending only the first message, that is the invite message. Then what is my next message? Acknowledgement, I'm giving this one. So when the source will be giving the acknowledgement, means the final message to the invite. Okay, first I'm giving what? Invite. After that, I'm not sending. The final, whatever the invite I'm sending, the final message to the invite is acknowledgement. Before to that, 100 trying, 180 ringing, 200 okay will get it. So acknowledgement, we use final message as the message to the invite message here. So then only the acknowledgement comes. Okay. Acknowledgement is the final message to the invite message. Means after sending the invite message, from the destination we get 180, 100 trying, 180 ringing, answering the call, or if the call is not answering, I'm getting some error codes, then it gives the acknowledgement. Means acknowledgement is the final message to the invite message. The very first message is what? Invite. Which is the last message? Acknowledgement. After that one, the call flow is coming. Hey, hi, hello, how are you? The RTP is flowing in this one. Okay. But in case of early media, what happened here? In case of early media, what happened here? See here. Before, see, invite is sending. That is the first message. What is the final message to the invite? Acknowledgement here. Okay. But see, 100 trying, 183 progress. It's giving the pre-acknowledgement. It's not a final acknowledgement. It's giving what? Pre-acknowledgement. That's called prac message. Okay. If you give the acknowledgement, but actually the acknowledgement is the final message to the invite message. I'm not giving the final acknowledgement here. Invite, 100 trying, 183 session in progress, RTP got established. Prac, pre-acknowledgement, 200 okay, pre-acknowledgement. Then finally I'll be getting the acknowledgement here, this one. So that is what prac messages. Prac is nothing but pre-acknowledgement. So why it's giving the pre-acknowledgement? This message it will be exchanging only in the early media, because whenever if any device sends the invite message, that is the first message. The final message to the invite message is the acknowledgement here. Before giving the acknowledgement, it's giving the pre-acknowledgement. And this prac, this is called prac message. In interview, they'll ask about this one. What is a prac? Okay. The pre-acknowledgement, and this pre-acknowledgement we use on the early media call flow. Why we are using this pre-acknowledgement? Whenever we send the invite message, the final message to the invite message is acknowledgement. Before to that, it gives the pre-acknowledgement. Why it's giving the pre-acknowledgement? Until it's not giving the acknowledgement, RTP will not flow. Right? But here in early media, what happened? Before you connect, RTP will flow. Before it connect to the agent, for example, you're calling, okay, welcome to ABC company. RTP got established, right? Who answered that one? IVR machine is answered the call, that one. After that one, you are giving some input. Based on that input, it will be connecting to the agent. When it is connecting to the agent, again, hey, hi, hello, how are you? He'll be giving some greeting. Hey, good morning, my name is this, that. How can I help you? Something it's going to be some, there will be a script. Based on that script, there'll be every day for every customer, whenever they answer the call, they had to follow that script. That maybe if you guys have worked in call center, you'll be having some experience. Call center. Okay. So that's how we have the three different call flows: delay offer, early offer, and early media here. Got it? So this is about the call flow. So all the call flows are very important. In interview, they'll ask ISDN call flow, H.323 call flow, MGCP call flow, SIP call flow, all the three types here. Okay, you had to remember and what is happening. And if you remember the call flow, then only you can troubleshoot also. If any issues come, if you don't know the call flow, then even it's difficult to troubleshoot also. Okay. So for an example, when you are calling, the call is not connecting for some reason. So now you have to be verified from which end you have an issue, whether you have an issue from the provider end, you have an issue on the gateway end, or you have an issue on the call manager. Okay. So in which, where exactly issue you have this one, to understand or to verify that one. So you have to understand call flow. If you don't know the call flow, okay, then it's very difficult for you to be troubleshoot that one. So that's the reason everywhere, every time the call flow is very important. Next, so for the media negotiate in the call flow, it use the SDP protocol. SDP stands for session description protocol. The purpose of SDP is to convey the information about the media stream in multimedia session to help participant to join or gather info for a particular session. Yes. So you remember that one, whenever we want to communicate between the two end devices, both the end, it should be have the same codec. If the codec is not matching, it's not possible to communicate. Then what port numbers you are going to be used? What RTCP port number, RTP port number you are going to be used? Everything it has to be negotiate here in this one. So in the SDP, it will be contained. It's going to be negotiate here. This one. It's not negotiate means it will be carry what information, what protocol, what codec I am supporting. If other end also, if it is a matching, then only negotiation happens. For an example, I support only one codec, G.711. Other end, it can be support 29, 11, 22, it can be. So in that one, what happened? We negotiate here. Boss, I support only 11. Can you be able to support 11? Yes, I can able to support the 11 also, this one. That's how it will be negotiated and communication happen. Okay, SDP is a short, structured textual description, means which contains its a textual description. Why? Because the SIP protocol is a clear text protocol. Even the SDP information also comes into the small textual description. Okay, it conveys the name and purpose of the session, the media, protocol, format, timing, transport information. Means in this one, what version you are using, what IP address you are using, when the timers, when you have used this one, and what media you are using that one, and what attributes you are using. Okay, every information it will be contained under the SDP protocol. A tentative participant check this information and decide whether to join a session and how and when to join a session if it is decide to do so. Yes, so I'm giving my all information. Then again, your information you are checking with you, your SDP also it will be having. It's checking. Okay. So for example, codecs are not matching both the end. Then the call will be disconnect. Codecs are matching. Call will be connect this one. That's how what happened. In the SDP protocol, it contains media information. Okay. Most of the time. So it will be exchanging. Let's see how exactly it looks here. So that's how we get it. V is equal to version O something. See, this is an example I'm having here, this one. So V is equal to, it's a version, which version of the SDP protocol. O means origin, from where it's originating the call here, this one. Okay, S, session name. What is the session name? C, canonical name. What IP address it's using? IP, okay, timers. Then M is audio. Audio means here this one, 150 RTP AVP. See, this after AP0101, this is you have right, which defines what codec you are using. 0 means G.711 codec. 9, 7, 101, this is how we have. Then these are the RTP, sorry, attributes. Attribute, what we are using. So attribute, we have only send, receive, or only send, we have this one. All this information, it will be contained. And here, two things you have to be remember when you do the troubleshooting, what happened this one. Whenever you call, one-way audio issue you will be having. Okay. Now you are collecting the SIP collects, SIP debugs you are collecting. When you are collecting the SIP debugs, how you can identify that one there is a one-way audio issue and from which end you have the one-way audio issue? By looking the attributes. By looking the attributes. In the attribute, always it should be send receive. Can you see here? SCNDRECV. That means send receive means I'm sending and receiving. Here only send is there. That means I am sending. That means my voice I am sending, I am not receiving. Or if I am having only receiving, that means I can hear, okay, but other party cannot hear this one. Through this, you can understand, okay, whether you have the audio issue or one-way audio issue or this one. So for the calling issue, always the attribute should be send receive. Only send is there, only receive is there, then there is the one-way audio issue you have. And also the C, the IP address here, this one. Sometimes the IP address, what happened, whatever the IP address it's displaying here, 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever the example here, that IP address should be contained under my trust list. We have a configuration, SIP configuration. Okay. There is a concept of trust list, means my gateway has to be trust to the IP address, this one. Okay. This IP address should be under my trust list, one. And second thing, from my gateway, there should be a routable to that IP address here, this one. Then only it's possible to communicate this one. What exactly? Then when we do the practical, we look into that one. So that's how two things you have to be look for the calling issues. One is the C and one is the attribute. Yes, other part also you can be look into that one, but mainly for the calling issue or one-way audio issue or no audio issue, on attributes you can see, or C you can be see on that one. Other like simply session name, audio and everything we have this one. So this is how. V means protocol version, O means origin. Information about the originator of the session. Example, it comes like this one: username, session ID, version, network type. Okay. See, username is the user who is calling or call number. Session ID, a separate ID it will be creating. See, session ID parameter, the NTP timestamp, a random number used to ensure the uniqueness. Okay. For every call leg, separate number it will be generate, unique number. Why? Because at the same time, 5 people can be called, right? For all the 5 calls, 5 unique numbers we require here. Okay, then what network type? Network, whether it's IPv4 or IPv6 we are using, address type we are using. See, always it will be showing IN. IN means internet. Then it will be display IPv4 or IPv6 here. So again, C means connection data. It contains the information of media connection. Again, same network, IP4, IP6. M means media. A means attributes. Attributes means for every information like session level or media level attributes we require, multiple attributes it will be generating. Okay, where we can look whether the only send we have, only receive we have, or send receive we have this one. That's how we have to be look into that one. So all these things, what happen this one, when you do the practical and collect the logs, if you look into that one, then easily you can be understand. Now might be it will be bouncing for few users. You are just, I know that you're just looking and watching like something. I don't know, I'm just looking. Okay. But I can see the expression, face expression, that one. Most of the people not understanding. Okay. When we do the practicals, you can understand that one easily. SIP addressing, already we have discussed. Always it comes into the email format, right? SIP colon user ID at domain name something we get. This is for example, SIP colon 140855123 at gateway.com. This is how the addressing method we use in the SIP protocol. And this is a very important again. A SIP works based on the request and response messages. Okay. Now I am the calling party. You are the called party. Always whatever the messages exchanging from the calling, that is called request. That is called request. And all this request comes into the plain text. All the request comes into the plain text. For example, in this diagram, I am the calling. From the calling, whatever the message I am sending, that is called request. From the destination, whatever the message I am getting, it's called response message. Now, the request message always comes into the plain text. Example, request, invite. Invite is what? Plain text. Acknowledgement, plain text. Buy, plain text, right? I'm sending what? Invite I am sending, acknowledgement I am sending, buy message I am sending. All are into what? Plain text. But whenever I get a response to request, when I get a response, if you send any request, then only you get response. If you are not sending any request, you will not get any response. But in response, I get always with the numbers. Always I get in the number. 100, trying, 180, ringing, 200, okay, 200, okay. Can you see this one? Request, always it goes into the plain text messages. In response, we get with the numbers. That is what request and response messages here, this one. So we have a different request messages and response messages. Again, this also important. See, again, SIP, it's very, very important, this one. They can ask anything from here, this one. They can ask what is SIP, what is SIP servers, what is the call flows, what is the SDP, SDP attributes, means all the information contains in that one. Okay. And also they ask about this request and response messages. Okay. Minimum 4-5 request response messages you have to be explained here, this one. See, that's what. So from the calling, always it goes request. Okay. I'll be getting from the destination response messages. This is how the response messages will be getting. So 1xx, this is called provisional messages. 1xx, 2xx, 3xx, 4xx, 5xx, 6xx. 1xx means it can be anything, 100. Okay. Information response such as 180 ringing means any number comes with a 1 and any number it can be 100, 101, 180, 181. It can be anything, this one. It gives the information. Information was, okay, boss, I'm trying, 100 trying, 180 ringing, 183 session in progress. It gives what? 100, 180, 183 what? It's giving the information, right? So that's the information. So this information we get whenever we request. In response, we get the information. 200 always for success. Success means destination answered the call, 200 okay. Destination disconnected the call, 200 okay. To establish the call also, to terminate the call also, it gives the success message. You are disconnecting the call, okay, even I'll disconnect the call. Call got established, okay, I'll give 200 okay. That's the success messages we'll get for any request you have sent. For that request, if it is a success, then it send the 200 okay messages here. Okay, 3xx, redirect. Redirect means in between you have a redirect server. No, proxy is different. Redirect is different. Redirect server. Proxy server is different. Redirect server is different. Example, call transfer, call forward you have, or redirect server you have this one. In that one, 3xx messages it will use. From the 4xx, 5xx, 6xx, all these are the error messages. Suppose whenever you call, if you get any of these messages, 4, 5, 6, that means call will be not get established. Very rare cases you can see the 6xx. Most of the time you can see 4xx messages, and sometime you can see the 5xx. For example, whenever you try to connect to some browser, you'll get 401, 404 forbidden error. You get it, right? Similarly, same error messages we get it. Okay, 401, 404, 4056. This is how we'll be getting. But here 3xx and 4xx, few messages you have to, there are many response messages we have at least. So 100 trying, 180 ringing, 183 session in progress, okay, 200, okay, 302, 303 something is there, redirect, that you have to remember. And some 4xx messages also you have to be remember that one. So all these provisional messages comes in the response as a number. And these are the, on the left hand side, you can see the request messages. Invite. Invite is for what? What is the invite message? No, it's a request only. What is the invite message? To start your call, the very first message, send the invite message here. And again, in the invite message, what attribute it contains, that also they'll ask in the interview. Within the invite message, what are all the information it contains, this one. Okay, you have to learn about that. Acknowledgement, the final message to the invite here, this one. Bye. To disconnect the call, we use the bye. Cancel. Okay, cancels any pending request, we have this one. Options, ping. For the ping options, we can say this one. Okay, registrar, any server you want to be registrar, registrar. Prac, pre-acknowledgement, we have this one. Subscribe, we have. There is a what to say, feature called BLF, busy lamp field. For that one, we use the subscriber. Notify, MWI, again, message waiting indicator. For example, someone is calling and you left the voice message. In your phone, you get one light here, MWI, message waiting indicator. For that, notify. Publish, it's sending the public event message to the server. Info, okay. Send mid-session. Mid-session means in between you are putting the call on hold something, it send the info. Update, modify the connection. Messages, okay, generally you remember these messages on the Jabber, might be she has explained on that day. XMPP for IMP, that is the messages. SIP XMPP messages, that one. Refer or ask recipient to issue a SIP request, call transfer. That's how different messages we use this one. Here you have to remember, and they'll ask about, sometimes they'll ask, can you name it 5 request messages? Or they'll ask, what is notify? What is update? What is subscribe? Okay. That will look into later, but go through this and note it down and study this, all these messages. Later, I'll give with a clear example. Okay, you can understand that one. This one already you are aware about invite, acknowledgement you are aware, buy you are aware. Okay. Cancel means what happened here. For example, I'm calling. When I'm calling, invite message it goes. Invite message it goes. Still other end, no, it's not busy. Not replied still. Before that, I'll disconnect the call. I'm dialing the number, then immediately I'm disconnecting the call. So in that moment, it's in the cancel message. Means whatever the invite we have to cancel that one. That's what. See, cancel any pending request. Okay. Before processing, before the other end, it's processing or acknowledging to that one, I'm disconnecting the call. When you, for example, you're dialing, immediately you're disconnecting the call. In that, okay, to cancel that call, it's in the cancel messages. Okay, cancel message we have. Options. Options means what happened? Now you have CUCM. Okay, now you have the gateway. Now, how CUCM understands, in generally what happened? You have routing protocol. Okay, two routers, you have implemented the routing protocol. After implementing the routing protocol, how the routers know that whether the other router is alive or not? They exchange some keep alive hello messages, they'll be exchanged. SIP options, option message also same thing. Here we call it as a SIP options. Okay, options we send. Why? Because, for example, you have the CUCM, you have the router, and you have configured this as a SIP gateway. Okay, every time this CUCM is sending the SIP option messages to know the gateway is alive or not. That's what SIP options. Registrar. Yes, any phone want to be registered, IP phone want to register with the call manager. It send what? Registrar message. Now the gateway want to register with the provider. Yesterday, if you remember, it sent what messages to register? If any device wants to be registered under the server, if it is using the SIP protocol, it sent a register message. Okay. Track, pre-acknowledgement. Okay. Yeah. At least these many you got it. Other things we'll look into the later part. Messages also, you know, IMPP, XMPP protocol. That is the messages we use this one. Other, we can look into the later here, this one. Got it? This is how the request and response messages we have here. So that's what response 100, 180, 181, 182, 200. Okay. In the 200, we have only one. See, 300, multiple choices. 301, moved permanently. 302, moved temporarily. 30C, other. 304, use proxy. You remember at least 301, 305. Okay. 305 means proxy you are using. 301 you are using permanently. 302 you are using temporarily. Okay. That's how. 380 we have alternate services. See from the here, client error, okay, server error, global error. All these are the, for example, 400 bad request, 401 unauthorized, okay, 402 payment required. Means you have not paid the bill. You get the provider, it gets the 402. 403 forbidden. 404 not found. 405 method not allowed. Okay, most of the time you can see 401, 404, we can see that one. Or 400, we can see that one. Error messages, this one. This is how we have a different error messages. This we get it in response. So next we have the configuration. Configuration of SIP gateway. Okay, next we'll do the configuration. Here are some base configuration we have, but whatever the configuration I'm showing you now here, it's only the lab setup configuration. But in the real time, it's not like the same thing, this one. Okay, the real time we have a different types of setup, different configuration and everything, that one. So actually this is the commands we have to configure on the gateway. The gateway, different setup of configuration we have that one. So I'll show you the real-time scenarios, how exactly the SIP was configured. if the PRI SIP, how it's configured, or normal SIP trunk, how it's configured, I'll show you. But for the lab scenario, I'll be enabling very simple commands in this one. Okay. So for this, I'll just go to the call manager here. First, in the call manager, you can be configure the SIP trunk, and actually we have the H.323 gateway. So let me delete that one. For the same router, we have configured as an H.323. So I'm going to delete that one. 201, right? All right. So to configure the SIP trunk, go to the device, trunk. It's not a gateway. It's a trunk, SIP trunk we call it here. Fine. So by default, we don't have any trunks. Add new. Okay. Now here you get an option, what type of SIP trunk you want to be configured here. This one, trunk type. See, head.225 gatekeeper controller or inter-cluster trunk with gatekeeper or without gatekeeper, you have this one, or SIP trunk here, this one. So we are configuring what here, this one, SIP trunk here. Okay. SIP trunk you are configuring. Protocol automatically it has selected the SIP protocol, and you're creating trunk for what? Okay. We have an option here, this one. Are you creating for the CCD, call control discovery, extension mobility cross cluster? That's in a feature. Call control discovery also, it's a feature. Okay. Or intercompany media engine or multimedia subsystem. What exactly you're configuring here, this one? So I'll just go with the none here, default. Okay. So because I'm configuring for the gateway here, I don't have any option here, this one. So I'll be selecting the default SIP trunk here, this one. Then I'll give the next. So here's few information we had to fill it. Device name, any name you can be type here, this one. But in my case, I'm going to be provide the IP address itself instead of name. Okay. My gateway IP address is 201, 142.164.201. Then headquarter hyphen SIP hyphen trunk. Device pool. Always you have to select under which location you are configuring, that location device pool. Example, India device pool we have. Then after, if you scroll down, PSTN access, run on all active unified CM nodes. If you remember, we have, I'm configuring where this now? On publisher I'm configuring. But in production, we configure CUCM groups, right? So for an example, you have primary server, secondary server, tertiary server. Primary is down. Now secondary server is there. When I'm calling, now the secondary server should know, right, who is my gateway. So that's the reason you have to check this one. Run on all active unified CM nodes. If you are not checking this one, okay, only publisher knows. All other server doesn't know who is your SIP trunk here. So that's the reason. If you check how many call manager servers are there, in all the call manager server, it replicate. Okay. Next. So if you scroll down, even no. Again, here you have to give the gateway IP address. See, already I have given the IP address here. That's the name of SIP trunk. This one. Here, not mandatory to give the IP address. You can name it anything, this one. Okay. You can give anything here, this one. Any name you can type it. But here you have to give the gateway IP address. Here. Okay. So like this, how many gateways you can be configured? SIP gateways. 8 gateways you can be configured. If you want to be add one more extra here. Okay. See, what we can do here. One second, I'll just minimize. If you can look it here, see, I have plus. If you click on this plus button, See, one more gateway can be added. Okay. So I'll just minus this one. And the port number for the SIP is 5060. If you are using IPv6, it can be defined IPv6. But I'm using IPv4. So IPv4. If you click here, destination address is an SRV, server record. Then host name you can be provided here, this one. Okay. Then after, you had to be profiled SIP trunk, SIP profile. Okay. Standard SIP profile I'll be providing. Next, also you have to define SIP trunk security profile. Generally, this is the trunk one, not for the phones here. Okay. If I go here, non-secure SIP trunk profile. By default, there will be one profile that you can be select here. Okay. Then save this one. That's it, the SIP trunk configuration on the CUC. Now we have to do it this. Now, if you go back to the trunk, now SIP will not get registered with call manager. See here, SIP trunk status, duration, we get it. This we get it only the SIP options. If you remember options in the request message, if that is enabled, okay, by default, that is a disable. If it is enabled, then only you get the status and every information here, this one. Now I'm going to be configure on router. So my IP address, show IP interface brief. Here you can see the gigabit Ethernet 0/0 142.168.201 we have. So now here I'll type voice service VoIP. I'm getting into the voice service VoIP. Then you type SIP. Under that SIP, I'm getting. Now you have the global configuration. If you remember that one global configuration, okay, bind control we have. Okay. Bind control source interface, bind media source interface we have. Okay. What is this bind? Why we had to be give this bind and everything? I'm not explaining that one because it's a lab setup. We have a separate configuration here, but with the same setup, you cannot configure on the production network. Okay. For my lab setup, I'm doing now that one. Later, I'll show you that one. The real time, how exactly configuration come that one. Okay. So now here you can type bind control. You can give the question mark source interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0, then bind media source interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0. Means globally I'm configuring that one. Okay, I'm giving. After that, you have to come out, then you configure SIP UA, SIP user agent. Then after you can give registrar server. Okay. 142.100.64.21. I'm registering my gateway under CUCF. Okay. It's asking me to be provided in this format, IPv4 colon and this one. Okay. By default, it works with the TCP protocol. Session transport, you can change it TCP or UDP, this one. Okay. Next, session. Okay, this session transport that it can be configured here. See, we don't have any session. Okay, we don't have here. Okay, so that we can be configure here. Voice service VoIP. SIP. Here we can configure session transport TCP or UDP. You want this one. By default, TCP will be there here, but I don't want to be change anything. This one. That's it. The configuration, the gateway. Okay. Now, if you go to your okay, here I'm getting still none. For this, what I can do this one, the trunk type SIP trunk status, what I can do here, just a minute, device settings, SIP profile, standard SIP profile, which I have selected, right? So if you scroll down, this one, SIP options ping, this I have to be enabled. Okay. Then I have to apply the configuration. Okay. Got it. This I have to be apply this one. After this, if I go to the trunk, if I reset, okay, unknown ping not enabled. Okay, it comes after some time. Okay, the up comes. That's it, the configuration of SIP. So more, it's not possible to be capture or the video on the real time. I'll show you in the next class. I'll show you how exactly SIP trunk we have configured with the topology. I'll write it down on the board and I'll show you that one, how we have configured, how the call is coming, how the debug you can enable that one. And I'll show you both on PRI SIP, how its configuration, and for normal SIP trunk, how the configuration we have everything, but you have to note it down that one. So it's better go through this video and tomorrow you can understand that easily, that one, how SIP protocols are. Clear? For that also you have to be understand how dual peer works. That you should be understand this one. If you are not understanding the dial pair, you don't have the knowledge about the dial pair, it's a bit difficult to be understand. So better today you just go through the dial pair videos, all the dial pair videos, whatever the dial pair videos we have, just go through. Tomorrow when I explain, easily you can be understand that one.